Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel Learning Together with Sakshi. Today our topic is on India's 110, which is relating to consolidation procedures, and in this we will learn how to pass an elimination entries and carrying the same to subsequent year. This is part 2 of my video. Before beginning, we will first have a quick revision of what we learned in our part 1 video. So, in part 1, we saw why there is a need to pass an elimination entries at the consolidation level. Then we saw that in elimination, we will eliminate all the transactions between the group entities and all the intra-group balances, intra-group transactions, and unrealized profit. Thereafter, we saw two examples. One example was simple with respect to transactions between A and B relating to sales and purchase, wherein we eliminated sales and purchase at consolidation level. Then second example was with respect to wherein a company A has charged rent from entity B and entity B has booked that rent expenses as part of CWIP. Thereafter, we saw how to carry forward these adjustments to subsequent year and how to book deferred tax expenses on those adjustments. Also, when the transaction got transferred from CWIP to PP, how we will deal with that in the consolidation financial statements, and also how to book depreciation on those adjustments. So let's start our current video where in which we will see one more example which will be a complex example. So let's get started. Our example is and in our example entity A, which is a holding company, has given a land which was taken on lease, and entity A has subleased that land to entity B. Not land, it's an asset which was taken on lease from a outside party, and A has subleased that particular asset to B, which is a subsidiary company. So in the books of entity A at standalone books, what entity entries entity A has must have passed to record those sublease entry. It must have booked finance lease receivable, and it must have derecognized ROU asset. So if I say with the 10,000, finance lease receivable must have been debited and ROU asset was credited with 10,000. Then in the books of entity B, in the books of entity B, what entry must have been posted? ROU asset to lease liability. Lease liability with the same amount. So at consolidation level, we will reverse these entries. Why? Because at consolidation level, this lease sublease between intercompanies will have no effect. So we'll have to it's just an intra-group transaction, so we'll have to remove the effect taken in the standalone books at consolidation level. So to reverse that effect, what we will do, we will debit ROU asset with the same amount to bring back that ROU asset, and we will credit finance lease receivable to reverse the effect. And one more entry we will post where we will debit lease liability and we will credit ROU asset with the same amount. With this, uh, entry posted in the books of B will be reversed, which is relating to sublease, and entry posted by A relating to finance lease receivable we have reversed. Now in the books of entity A, there will be more entries like in finance lease receivable, entity A has booked interest income. So to book the interest income, finance lease receivable must have been debited to interest income, let's say with 1500, and it must have booked because we have just reversed ROU asset, we have not reversed lease liability. So entity A must have booked interest expenses on that lease liability, say to with 1200 to lease liability with 1200. Okay, and Entity A must, for example, entity A has charged rent income of 2000 from entity B. So to record that transaction, it must have debited bank to finance lease receivable with 2000 rupees. Okay. Now in the books of entity B, they must have also booked some entries. In ROU asset, it must have booked depreciation to ROU asset. Let's say 2500, assuming 4-year life. And in lease liability, it must have charged interest expenses to lease liability, say 1250. Okay, so at consolidation level, we will reverse. First, we will reverse this entry. We have already reversed this entry, but we will not reverse this entry. Why? Because this entry is with respect to transaction with outside party. This has nothing to do with intercompany, so we will not reverse this transaction. And we will reverse this transaction but partially. We can't reverse this bank account because this is an actual transaction, so we will reverse this line item. And in entity B, whatever entries has been booked, we will reverse everything except this. Sorry, I have forgot to book this entry, which is relating to lease liability to bank, payment of rent charges, which was 2000. So we will reverse this entry as well, but partial reversal with respect to lease liability. So at consolidation level, we will reverse this transactions, interest income to finance lease receivable to finance lease receivable, whatever amount has been booked in the books of entity A, we will reverse it in entirely. Then we will reverse finance lease receivable to lease liability. This is reversal of rent transaction. Okay, and entries posted in the books of B, everything will be reversed. This is this. So here we will say ROU asset to depreciation. This was recorded for 2500. Then lease liability to interest expenses, because this is also a transaction between A and B. Okay, now over and above reversing all these entries, we will have to pass some additional entries because entity A has reversed its ROU asset. So had this ROU asset not been reversed, had this lease sublease transaction has not happened, then A must have recorded depreciation on that ROU asset. So at consolidation level, we will have to book that depreciation to ROU asset. Let's say on that amount 3000 would have been the depreciation, so we will record that depreciation as well. So with this, I think we have covered all, we have reversed all the elimination entries. Also, we have posted the consolidation entry for depreciation. And let's see whether the finance lease receivable ledger is getting zero or not. So in the books of entity A, this receivable balance must have been showing the balance of this plus this minus this. And in consolidation level, we have pass the entry wherein we are reversing this plus minus this plus this. Yes. So with this, we have nullified finance lease receivable at consolidation level. Finance lease receivable. ROU asset, if I see ROU asset coming from entity A books is negative this. Actually, it's not negative this because ROU asset is de-recognized. So we have nullified this ROU asset. And from entity B, this is the ROU asset coming over here. And at consolidation level, we have bring back this ROU asset minus we have reversed this ROU asset. this plus this plus this minus this. Okay, and what for example ROE asset in the books of entity A was appearing as this. We have debited this. No, I have mistakenly put minus sign over here. Yeah. So our ROE asset will show the balance of 7,000. Is it correct? Let me see. uh, ROU asset this credited, okay, and over here, yeah, correct, this is the post depreciation amount. So at consolidation level our ROU asset will show a balance of 7,000 and lease liability will remain as it is because we have reversed the lease liability entries posted in the books of B, and we have not we have completely ignored entries posted in the books of A with respect to lease liability because it will have no impact at consolidation level. I hope you must have learned this. You have understood the concept of passing elimination and consolidation entries with respect to intra-group transaction. Now we'll see how this will be this will have impact in our disclosure, because whatever entries we are posting at consolidation level, this will impact our disclosure as well. So if you know, we have a disclosure financial instrument, FI, we say a financial instrument, FI note. Within this we have a liquidity liquidity table wherein we are required to show a maturity profile of all the finance liabilities. So in case of finance liability, we will say this lease liability as well, lease liability. So if we do 1 plus 1 of lease liability balance appearing in entity A and also in entity B, so this will lead to duplication because at consolidation level we have removed the lease liability which was forming part of entity B. So if I say entity A is showing maturity profile of say 10,000 rupees, no, for 20,000 rupees, and entity B is also showing of 25,000, and if we don't consider the impact of elimination at disclosure level, so our lease liability will show a maturity profile of 45,000, but it is just a duplicacy. So we'll have to reverse the elimination impact in disclosure as well. So if I say this lease liability has a maturity of 25,000, we will remove this 25,000 to bring back the lease liability of 20,000, because at consolidation level there is only one lease which will have a maturity of 20,000 rupees. Correct? I hope you must have understood this concept. Thank you. Let's see next time with another video.